And we're back with some more Seattle franchise mode in FHM 7. And in this one, we are hopefully going to get through the entire offseason, so let's get right to it. We have a lot to do. We have the awards. We have, of course, the NHL entry draft, which is what I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, are looking forward to the most. And of course, you have free agency. So let's get right to it. So first off, Kempe and Oettinger have re-signed with us. And the Hart Trophy nominees are Matthews, McDavid, and Pasta. The Vezina Trophy nominees are Vasilevsky, Giles Sen, and Tuukka Rask. So how has Sen been in this universe? 924 save percentage in 56 games. Wow. Norris nominees are McAvoy, Riley, and Theodore. The Calder nominees are Kvasha, Lavoie, and Poulin. Executive of the Year award nominees are Don Sweeney, Don Waddell, and Tom Fitzgerald. Selke nominees are Confer, O'Reilly, and Carlson, William Carlson to be specific. Lady Byng nominees are Matthews, Dadonov, and Backstrom. Mark Messier Leadership Award nominees are Couture, Crosby, and Stamkos. Ted Lindsay Award nominees are Matthews, McDavid, and Pasta. And the Jack Adams Trophy nominees are Hackstall, Pandolfo, and Brindamore. So the playoffs have finished, and the Stanley Cup champions are the Vancouver Canucks over the Boston Bruins, so a rematch of 2011, and Vancouver pulls it off this time. And of course, here's the rest of the playoff bracket. Colorado had made it to the Western Conference Finals with Vancouver, but they were outed in 6 games. And Washington made it to the Eastern Conference Final with Boston, but they were beaten 5 games. Now let's check out some of the stats around the league. Austin Matthews led the league in scoring by far with 115 points. The next was McDavid with 98. Kind of odd considering what has happened recently with McDavid hitting 100 points in, 53 games? Sheesh. I mean, that is absurd. Pasta led the league in goal scoring with 57. And assists, Backstrom led with 71. So just recently, we have re-signed Eric Stahl, Oli Mata, Madison Bowie, Brett Kulak, Valeri Nichushkin, and Marcus Nudavara. They are all back for at least another year. Alexander Koklachev, Joel Kelman, and CJ Seuss are also back. And now it is time for the awards ceremony. So the Ted Lindsay Award went to Austin Matthews. The Art Ross also goes to Matthews. The Maurice Richard goes to David Pastrnak. The Lady Byng Trophy goes to Evgeny Dadonov. The Bill Masterton goes to Alex Goligoski. Mark Messier Leadership Award goes to Steven Stamkos. And the Jennings Trophy goes to Ilya Samsonov. And now for the Hart Trophy. The nominees were McDavid, Pastrnak, and Matthews. And the winner is Austin Matthews. And I love how his picture is just half of his face. Because normally that's supposed to be one of the auto-generated faces, but since I have the face pack, it's just like that, and it's... Alright, for the Conn Smythe, the playoff MVP is Quinn Hughes, and it looks even funnier on him because it just cuts off at the top of his nose. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. The Calder Trophy, the nominees were Kvasha, Lavoie, and Poulin, and the winner is Samuel Poulin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Norris Trophy, the nominees are McAvoy, Riley, and Theodore, and the winner is Morgan Riley. He had 72 points in 76 games played. And for the Frank J. Selke Trophy, the nominees are Ryan O'Reilly, William Carlson, and JT Confer, and the winner is JT Confer. For the Vezina Trophy, the nominees are Tuukka Rask, Jill Sen, and Andrei Vasilevsky, and the winner is Tuukka Rask. Executive of the Year award nominees are Tom Fitzgerald, Don Sweeney, and Don Waddell, and the winner is Don Waddell. And the Jack Adams Trophy nominees are Rod Brindamore, Jay Pandolfo, and Dave Hackstall, and the winner is Rod Brindamore. So we are getting a trade proposal from Calgary that would send Jay Beagle to them in exchange for Josh Nodler. He is 21 years old, and he is currently signed for 3 years at $790,000. And here's the thing about Beagle. We have not, he's one of the players who we have not re-signed, and I don't intend on re-signing him. So, I mean, I see no downside to this trade. Complete trade. I mean, hey, it was them who offered the trade, not me. So I'm certainly going to take advantage of that. So I guess they just wanted to get the rights to Beagle a few days early, you know? Because unless they re-sign him within the next 9 days or so, he's just going straight to free agency. So, you know what? Whatever they want to do, that's fine with me. And here we have the end of the year evaluation. I don't think we're going to get any of the positive categories, and we get all the negative categories, meaning our total season score is 0. So that is definitely unfortunate. We're not going to have any points to spend this year. So we do have some retirement news here. Justin Braun has retired from the NHL, as has Eric Staal. So we did re-sign him, but he chooses to hang up the skates, so that is fine with me. We do apparently get a new broadcast deal worth $37.8 million. Not bad. And apparently our coach, James O'Cullinan, has retired at age 68. I think that's one of our assistant coaches. I know that's definitely not our head coach. That's Gerard Gallant, but it appears that we're going to have to find a new goalie coach. And we have hired Benoit Allaire as our goalie coach. He has 19 for coaching goalie ratings and a 19 for coaching prospects, so figured that would make him a good choice. So we are here in free agency, and it appears Barkov is available as a UFA. Well, he would certainly be a great pickup, that is for sure. I cannot tell you how tempting Barkov is right now, especially since we have $34.5 million in money for FAs, but we do only have $21 million in cap space. So how much would Barkov be setting us back? Oof, $12 million for 5 years and a no movement clause. Well, I can certainly understand that. He is definitely the top free agent this year. As tempting as he is, I don't think he's someone we should go after right now. We're just not in the position. We have a lot more building to do before we're even close to contenders. I mean, as we see by our record this past season, 26, 45, and 11, that doesn't exactly sound like the type of team that Barkov would be willing to sign at. So I'm going to make an executive decision and say pass on Barkov. Now, if we had made the playoffs this year, that might be a different story, but because we didn't exactly have that Vegas magic, we're going to pass on Barkov and probably pass on all these guys as well. I mean, there's Ovi, there's Hurdle, there's Zibanejad, there's Couturier, Giroux, all those guys. There is Morgan Riley, Goudreau, Parayko, Anderson. This free agency is actually really good. Klingberg. So why don't we replace a Staal with a Staal? Jordan Staal. He is currently 33 years of age, and he is asking for $5 million for 3 years. I certainly would not be opposed to getting him, so we'll just meet his demand for right now, and then I'll take him up $100,000 more, just to give him, the opportunity to accept offers from other teams. But I certainly would not mind getting a veteran presence in the form of Jordan Staal. So we have submitted an offer to him, and we'll see what he says. We also do need a third goaltender, just in case either Saros or Oettinger get injured. So let's go after Pavel Francouz here. What does he want? He wants 1.28 for 2 years. That is fine with me. Although I think I'll give him a little bit more. I'll give him 1.38 million instead. And there we go. We have signed Jordan Staal day one. We are still negotiating with Francouz, but that is all right. So we do have quite a few national team job offers, but from a lot of countries that I'm really not interested in being the GM of. I mean, you have South Africa U18, North Korea U20, Iceland U18. None of these really stand out to me as jobs that I would want on a national team. And as far as non-U20 or U18 goes, we have Serbia, Georgia, North Korea, Lithuania, and South Korea. I mean, maybe Lithuania or South Korea, they're ranked the highest out of all these teams, ranked 24 and ranked 25. I guess we'll give Lithuania a try, so we'll accept that offer. And Pavel Francouz has also joined on with us, so we have gotten both of our free agent choices. Now let's see where we are financially. We have a salary of $62.5 million to be specific. So I think, that puts us just above the floor. I would like to get one more contract in there just in case I want to make a trade mid-season, just so that we don't end up below the salary floor at any point. So I'm going to start by age here, and we have Zach Parise, who is in free agency. The Minnesota Wild must have bought him out based off that, because I could have sworn his contract went longer. So let's see what Parise wants. He wants 1 year for 4.5. I mean, I'm all right with that. I think Parise would be a good veteran presence. I mean, of course, we have that with Jordan Staal, but, we need to fill in some more cap anyway, so I figure we may as well get Zach Parise here. We'll get him for 4.51 for 1 year. And there he is. Zach Parise has signed, and he also needs to be assigned a new number. Is 9 available? No. So neither 9 or 11 are available. We'll give him number 12. So obviously, no moves that are really going to change the trajectory of our franchise at the moment, but just some nice veteran presences in there in the form of Stahl and Parise. Got a good third stringer in Frank Koo, and we're pretty well above the salary floor, so we can make a trade if we need to during the regular season. So I believe that's all I want to do in free agency. All that is left to do for right now is advance the draft lottery and the entry draft. So let's get right to it. Here we go, the draft lottery. We do have the best odds, obviously. We did finish last in the league. So, picking at number 16 will be the Arizona Coyotes. At number 15 will be the Winnipeg Jets. At number 14, we have the Chicago Blackhawks. At number 13, we have Minnesota. Number 12 will be the New York Rangers. Number 11 will be the Buffalo Sabres. 10, the Montreal Canadiens. No one's moving up yet. Edmonton at number 9. Yep. At number 8, do we have Nashville? Yes, indeed we do. LA at number 7? No. Tampa will be at number 7, so LA moves up to the top 3. Who is picking at number 6? That would be Florida. Number 5 will be Detroit. Number 4, the Islanders. So the top 3 are, of course, the LA Kings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and your Seattle Kraken. Who are picking at number 3? We have the Pittsburgh Penguins. And who is at number 1? The LA Kings move up to number 1. We fall back to 2. So that's unfortunate. Obviously, we still get a really good player, but we don't get our choice of a player as LA is picking first. So here we go. Going into the NHL entry draft, there are 2 5-star potential players available in Wright and Savoie. There's also Ostlund and Fimis as players available. All of these guys are centers, so it looks like we are going to be getting a center out of this draft, and we will let LA pick here, and then we'll pick at number 2, and they will take Quinn Finley of Connecticut. So he is a 4-star potential, 1.5-star current ability. What did he do last year? In the USHL with the Chicago Steel, 64 points. I guess that's not bad, but certainly not what I was expecting. So we have our choice of Shane Wright or Savoie. I believe his name is Matthew. Yeah, Matthew Savoie. So let's compare the two. You have Savoie with a 14 offensive read, 17 passing. Pretty good mental ratings as well. 12 determination, 14 team player, 13 leadership, 14 defensive read, 15 faceoffs. What about Shane Wright? Better offensively, it looks like. Savoie is definitely better with passing, but he has better offensive read and just better all around in general, it looks like. As if you take a look at Savoie, he's not as good physically, whereas Wright has 14s for almost everything besides fighting. Wright is better positionally as well at 14, whereas Savoie only has 12. They have the same skill at face-offs, same at checking. Savoie is slightly better defensively as far as defensive read goes, but not positionally. Shooting accuracy and getting open is better on Wright than it is for Savoie. Savoie is the better puck handler, but Wright is much better mentally. So I think the pick has to be Shane Wright here. Wright with 71 points in 54 games played and a 66 grade. And when you take a look at Savoie, 55 points in 56 games played, 64 grade. What about injury-wise? So Wright, he looks like, he's normal everywhere. What about Savoie? Yeah, they're both the same. They both have the same current abilities and potentials. So there's not much of a difference between the two, but I think based off everything we've seen, I prefer Shane Wright. He's just too good to pass up. So welcome to the Seattle Kraken, Shane Wright. So now we will simulate up to our next pick, and we pick at number 33. And the best that we have are some 3-star potentials here, but there are some 1.5-star abilities. So you have Simon Nemec. He looks pretty good with the offensive read and shooting range. You have Joachim Kemmel. Pretty good shooter. He's got the 17 shooting accuracy and 16 for getting open. Decent mentally. Decent physically. We have Cameron Van Sickle. A good checker. Good offensive read. Good team player. Good stamina. Those are the things that really stand out about him. Then you have Jack Larrigan. He is really good positionally. He has some decent offensive read and defensive read. Good stamina, good balance, good team player. Let's see all the career stats. He has 63 points in 55 games, with the Youngstown Phantoms, does Jack Larrigan. Van Sickle has 47 points in 54 games with the Green Bay Gamblers. Joachim Kemmel has 45 points in 39 games with Jyväskylä, I think I'm pronouncing that right. And Nimic, as a defenseman, has 19 points in 43 games with Nitra, or Nitra, however that's pronounced. Of all these guys, I think I like Van Sickle the best, because he has a 16 checking, he's decent positionally, decent with the defensive read, good with the offensive read at 16, good puck handler with 15, shooting accuracy 14. He just looks like the most well-rounded player out of all of these guys. Not to mention good team player, good stamina, and he just, in general, looks like someone who I would want on my team. So, Van Sickle, welcome to the Seattle Kraken. So here we are at pick 43. I believe this is Buffalo's pick, and Nimic and Larrigan are still on the board. So I think we have quite a few forward prospects, so let's take a defensive prospect now in Nimic. I mean, I know we already have offensive defenseman prospect in Luke Hughes, but it couldn't hurt to have another one here. So let's take Simon Nemec. Welcome to the Seattle Kraken. Now we are picking at number 65. We do have a 1.5 star ability available, but he is only a 2.5 star potential, so I don't know if I would want to take him over someone who's 3 star potential. He did have 31 points in 31 games last year and a 70 grade, but would I like someone who's 3 star potential with only the 1 star ability? There's Forsmark, Simone Forsmark. Good shooting range. Actually pretty decent accuracy for a defenseman especially. 14 offensive reads, so it looks like another offensive defenseman here. Actually, his major role has him as a defensive defenseman, so that's interesting because his defensive read's only 12. Positioning is 16 though. See his stats, he had 25 points in 32 games last year, 67 grade. Yeah, I like Forsmark, he looks good. So we will be taking another defensive prospect in Simon Forsmark. Welcome to the Seattle Kraken. So we are in round number 4, I believe now, as this is pick number 97. So let's see, there's still a couple of 3-star potentials available in Ronnie and Haviland. So as we take a look at Toppy Ronnie here, it looks like he's defensive forward, as he has that 15 defensive read. Yeah, he's listed as a 2-way forward, so that makes sense. And then there's Hugo Haviland, he's a goalie. Let's see his stats from last year. He had a 906 in 27 games played. Let's take a look at Ronnie. He has 32 points in 37 games played and a 71 grade in his league. So Ronnie is more NHL ready according to his ability. Do I want a goaltender? No, we're setting goal. I think for right now, we have Saros, we have Oettinger. So I think we will be taking Toppy Ronnie here with this pick. Welcome to the Seattle Kraken. So we're at pick 129 now, and all that is left are 2.5 star potentials or below. And there is 1.5 star ability in the form of Ludwig Persson. So I think at this point we will be taking Persson because he's definitely the best player available at this point. 31 points in 31 games played, 70 grade. Ratings, looks like a good puck handler, a good screener, good physically as well. And he's listed as a goal scorer, but honestly, I could see him being a solid all-around player. So I think we will be taking Ludwig Persson here with this pick. Welcome to Seattle. Headed into round number 6 now, I believe, or actually this might be the end of the 5th round because we do have 2 5th round picks, one from Toronto and our own. Unfortunately, there are no more 1.5 star abilities. It's just 1 star or below at this point, and potential wise, it's 2.5 star or below. So I think I'm going to try to find a player who is 1 star ability and 2.5 star potential, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is a such player available left. So we're just going to, I think from this point on, we'll go by potential. So we're going to be stuck with 1/2 star abilities, but I think it'll be worth it for the potential. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to filter out all the 19 and 20 year olds so that the maximum age is 18, so that they can have the most amount of time to develop. And you have 3 2.5 star 18 year olds. They are all centers: Kvochko, Lesila, and Swann. So let's take a look at all 3 of them. So Kvochko is looking like an offensive forward for sure with that offensive read at 14. Defensive read is only at 9. Let's look at his career stats. 31 points in 50 games in the MHL. We'll take a look at the next guy, Yuri Lesila. Better offensively, it looks like, honestly. Well, not with the offensive read, but in terms of puck handling and shooting accuracy for sure. Better defensively. Not better with the determination, but not by much. Definitely better physically. Better with the strength. Better with almost everything physically, besides stamina, I think. Yeah, stamina's a little bit worse, but I can live with that. Career stats, 44 points in 40 games last year in a 65 grade. I like Lesila over Kovalchko for sure. Now, what about this guy? James Swann. 14 offensive read. Generally well-rounded offensively, it looks like. Team player 14, determination 13, so well-rounded mentally as well. Well-rounded physically, and he has a 13 defensive read, 12 positioning. It's kind of a toss-up. He's better mentally than Lesila, better defensively as well. Not better physically, though. And offensively, it's kind of a toss-up. They're almost equal, as a matter of fact. Let's check their injury tendencies. So Swann is normal. Lesila also normal, and Kovalchko also normal. So I think, honestly, the one who impresses me the most here is Swann, because not only because of his ratings, he's just generally well-rounded. His injuries aren't too bad, or at least they shouldn't be, and he has 56 points in 52 games and a 66 grade with Halifax. So you could really put him in any role you want, it looks like, besides Enforcer, obviously. But most of his role ratings are, I mean, they're pretty solid. You could put him in almost any role, and he would be at least serviceable at it. So I think, Swann, welcome to Seattle. And now we're in the 6th round, I believe, and it appears Lesila is still available, and he is the only 2.5-star potential left, so I think we'll just take him, because, I mean, I was considering taking him with our previous pick, and he's still here, so why not? Lesila, welcome to Seattle. And now I believe we have another 6th round pick, as we did have Philly's 6th round pick, and we have our own as well. So I think at this point, we'll take a 1-star ability who's also a 2-star potential, since there are no more 2.5-star potentials. And we have a choice of Green and Mastro Domenico. That's certainly a mouthful to say. A good puck handler, good positionally, decent mental ratings, decent physical. How is Ryan Green? Good team player, good offensive read. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get them both, but I think, for me, Ryan Green stands out a little bit more. Now, I know that Master Domenico is a defensive defenseman, so it's pretty obvious that he wouldn't be getting points. But what I like about Ryan Green is that he's also pretty efficient defensively, it looks like, with that defensive read at 14. Positioning is at 14. Everything's just pretty well-rounded, so we'll be taking Ryan Green here. Welcome to Seattle. And unfortunately, it looks like Master Domenico was just taken 3 picks before our next pick at 193. So I believe this should be our last pick. And with our last pick, I want to take a player with good mental ratings. So we're going to take this guy, Philippe Fontaine. He has 14 determination, 14 balance, 14 checking. So it looks like he could be a solid 2-way forward of the future. Yeah, we will be taking Philippe Fontaine. Welcome to Seattle. And that will just about do it for the year 1 draft, so we will move on now. And what we will do now, we're going to take a look at our unsigned prospects list. As you can see, it's getting up there now. We have, obviously, Shane Wright, we have Luke Hughes, Olesen, Coronado. All these guys are looking pretty solid. Person's a 1.5-star already. Van Sickle is a 1.5-star. So we're starting to stock up the cupboards. But what we are here to do right now is sign our 1st and 2nd round picks from the previous draft in Luke Hughes and Matthew Coronado. So we will offer Luke Hughes and meet his demand, ask for his response. There you go. Luke Hughes has been offered. And Matthew Coronado, what do you want? I mean, I wouldn't imagine much, as this is your entry-level deal. So we are going to submit this offer to you. And there you go. Luke Hughes and Matthew Coronado are now on board. So Coronado, he wants number 27. That is already used by Just for Fast. We'll give him, for right now, 26. And Luke Hughes wants number 6 in use by Olimata. For right now, we'll give him 43. So I think that's all I want to do for this offseason. So with that being said, I think that is about it for this one. Remember to hit like and subscribe. And in the next one, we are going to make our way through year number 2. See you guys then.